The importance of comprehension. Part 3 of a 3-part video series which, combined with the supporting materials, is designed to empower school staff in their quest for professional learning. Curious students are engaged students. Engaged students, who are allowed to collaborate, learn many skills and competencies that are fundamental to a 21st century learner.
Literacy learning involves effective use of personal and social skills such as collaboration, communication, leadership, and self-direction.
Dynamic collaborative environments foster and facilitate deeper comprehension. Comprehension is making meaning. Comprehension is understanding. Reading is one process by which we construct meaning. In this case, it's understanding the information being communicated by an author. This could be within a print or non-print medium. Harvey explains how we understand text through a metacognition process by discussing teachers' reactions to their reading of a highly technical article regarding a new model of television.
So, we have this wonderful asset now that we did not have before, which is that we have solid, detailed, repeated research about how proficient readers think. So we know with a high degree of certainty what goes on in the brains of people who are really good readers, right? First thing they do is they monitor their comprehension, and we've been talking about that. They think about their thinking, they have a voice in their head that goes on, so they're in a conversation with the text, they're interacting with the text. And you might say, I don't monitor my comprehension, I just read. But guess what? Let me ask you a question. How many people in here, when you were reading this article, at any point stopped and reread? How many people reread? Every single person in the room, right? Except the people who just gave up, right? So that tells you are monitoring your comprehension. Because what did you do? You noticed, what was the feeling? What was the feeling when you stopped? Somebody tell me. I have no idea what's going on. That was the voice in your head said, I have no idea what's going on. So we are monitoring our comprehension. One of the problems, you guys, with this inventory here is that we are pros. We're veterans of this work, and we do it mostly unconsciously. So the first thing we do is we monitor our comprehension. Second thing we do is visualize. How many people were trying to see that TV? Or see the TV, how big was it, all that kind of stuff, right? One of the things smart readers do is they make connections. We had a connection over here. I'm just so sick of this topic, And over here, talking about your husband and moving the TV up. So making connections between the text and your own life. Asking questions. Obviously, we had a million questions. People had lots and lots of questions about this. Obviously, there's a lot of drawing inferences. That's another thing proficient readers do, is they draw inferences from the text. And that means taking your own past experience and combining it with clues or information in the text to come up with defensible or usable inferences. One of the things smart readers do is they try to determine what's important and what's not, right? So does it matter that it's a Panasonic TV? And then finally, proficient readers are always trying to put all these things together, using all those strategies to make meaning, to synthesize, to pull it all together, to get a general sense of the text.
Harvey says we need to be intentional with our teaching of these strategies. We can't just expect kids to pick them up.
One of the things that sometimes makes teachers hesitate is to say, well, nobody ever taught me that way. Nobody ever taught me about inferring. Nobody ever taught me about monitoring my comprehension. Certainly nobody ever talked to me about listening to this little voice in my head that's having a conversation with the text. Sounds kind of spooky. But here's the deal. We're teachers. We're not normal. We are so far from normal. We are the worst possible reference group you could possibly imagine to learn anything about reading. Because most of us probably came from a print-favorable environment. There was a lot of storytelling going on. People would get together and they would tell stories, and you get these patterns of narrative in your head, and then you later fall in love with literature. You go to school and you read, and you're probably good at reading, better than most kids. But so the point is that, we turned out okay. Well, what do? We cobbled this together. We cobbled these strategies together from a life of probably literacy privilege. But I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the kids that I teach, they're not going to cobble it together. They are not living in those kind of environments. So I feel it's our responsibility. We can't take any chances that they don't become proficient readers. So we have to teach this explicitly from day one, right in kindergarten, right in first grade, second grade, the grades that you guys work with.
Chris Tovani supports this premise. When teachers make invisible mental processes visible, they arm young readers with powerful weapons. Good readers engage in mental processes before, during, and after they read in order to comprehend text. But this internal talk, this self-check, is best taught in a collaborative way. Students use these strategies to engage in a discussion, thereby jointly constructing and enhancing their understanding of the text. This self-checking process, this testing for understanding, is not just about reading for comprehension. This is not just a good template for understanding of text, but for building understanding in general. In Language and Learning, James Britton explains that in a good conversation, the participants profit from their own talking, from what others contribute, and above all, from the interaction. The sharing of ideas allows us to explain, and therefore explore, and deepen our constructs, while the reaction of others forces us to reflect on our understandings. In these collaborative, reflective environments, learners utilize their comprehension as a foundation to move up the learning pyramid. Harvey supports the claim that application is the true test of comprehension.
Final stage of comprehension, we talk about reading comprehension, factual recall, being able to make inferences, to meld your own thinking into it. Comprehension becomes more and more robust, but you don't fully comprehend anything until you at least think about an action you might take, until it becomes important to you to the extent that you could think about something you would do. And part of what you might change an attitude, that would be an action, change a belief or an attitude, but you also might want to actually do something. You might want to inform other people, educate other people. You might want to even make a donation. So we say the highest form of comprehension is action.
These engaged thinkers, functioning in a collaborative environment, are building the skills that have been identified as crucial for today's students. By encouraging students' curiosity, whether it is in a 5-minute turn and talk or through a year-long project, we promote inquiry. Collaboration and comprehension are the cogs that drive this forward. How do you deepen comprehension in your classroom?